But for now, let us turn to Air Canada, because that company is trying to scramble this morning to get thousands of passengers to where they want to go. The airline right now facing a storm of anger and criticism after a system-wide technical glitch grounded and delayed planes across the entire network overnight. It created a travel nightmare for passengers around the country and elsewhere. And this morning, the airline is urging customers to pack their patience as it gets operations back to normal. Now, this was the scene in Vancouver, repeated in airports right across Canada. Long lineups snarling across terminal concourses, frustrating passengers desperate for any information on when they might take off. And as you see here, a lot of reaction on social media. One traveler tweeting, "It is embarrassing that an airline of any size would experience a system failure such as this. Would like to deplane now after 1 hour. Hashtag Air Canada failures." Another flyer posting, "I left Ottawa 7 hours ago, a misconnection because the overhead bin wouldn't open. Now this," and then inserts an expletive. And then there's this from another disgruntled customer. "Brutal. We are stuck on the tarmac. Why doesn't Air Canada have a plan for this? I bet if it cost you $1,000 per hour per passenger, you would figure it out." Well, let's bring in Scott Peterson right now. He's tracking the story for us today. So let's begin with the situation right now, Scott. What are we hearing?
We're hearing that there are still delays, and Air Canada's they're saying 5 extra flights. They're using bigger planes, all to facilitate business getting back to normal this morning after a big disruption from last night. So they're telling as well, Canadians, they want to remind them to check your flight status before going to the airport. They're very clear on that. But we're hearing from authorities from Calgary to Vancouver to Toronto trying to help with what this Air Canada system glitch was last night, affecting computers across the country. Now, this did affect airport operations, check-in system, customer call centers, and it was Air Canada specifically. And so if you were in the airports, you would have seen something like ongoing computer problems on the flight screens for arrivals and departures. And we learned about this last night. CBC did, the way everyone across Canada did, except for the passengers, of course, being directly impacted via social media. Lots of eruptions out there, lots of displeasure at what Air Canada was seeing as not telling people what was going on fast enough. So at its peak, there was dozens of delays across the country, delays, cancellations, anywhere from between 9 o'clock Eastern Time and 12:30 again Eastern Time. That was the peak of these disruptions. Or disruptions, rather.
Peak of the disruptions, as you say. So what's Air Canada now saying as they face all this criticism?
Yeah, they're trying, again, reminding people to check the status before going to the airports. They don't want extra crowds that would obviously be upsetting to the situation. But officially, this is what they're saying, that we can confirm airport systems, check-in and customer call centers are beginning to come back online. We're still expecting some flight delays and cancellations, but we're working hard to move as many customers as possible. We're also adding additional capacity to those affected. And as well, they're saying that even last night that they operated 95% of the airlines, which means that 5% were either delayed or canceled. So still, you get the sense that there's a big backlog they're still dealing with last night, and they're trying to get things up to speed, if you will, this morning, Michael.
Okay, Scott, thank you. We will speak again, and we will continue to monitor the situation and bring people any updates as we follow it throughout the morning.